The TIC report is a report that basically measures how much international capital is flowing into the United States. And it's expected to come out at about 70 billion versus previous months of 58.1 billion. And as I said, I personally do not like this report, but I set it for the weapon and I set it for the SNS triggers. If it deviates by 50 billion one way or the other, it may make a move of about 20 to 30 pips on the GBP USD. Give me a moment there, guys. I am looking, though, right now the GBP USD has went down a little bit. So what I'm going to do actually is, I think as long as I can be filled at 97.85 or better on a long, I will actually be willing to take a long on this one if the tick comes out upsetting. If it comes out at 20 billion or lower, I'm actually willing to take a long. As I said, as long as I can get filled at 97.85 or better. And I don't know if the price will go back to that level or not. I don't want to do much with a short here. So okay, on the TIC report, as I said, if the deviation comes out at minus 50 or more, I may actually go long with a limit of 97.85 or better on my MB trading account. Anything else I'm just not going to trade, okay? Because as I said, this is a relatively bad report. Seconds, 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 'Okay, came out obviously a no trade, came out just slightly lower than expected. Though the total it just came out at 67.6, so the total net tick flows came out at 45 versus 75. So as you can see, we saw a little of a price movement there. Nothing to be proud of. Okay, guys. That's all for today. I will see you tomorrow for the UK unemployment rate. Let's see. Yeah, guys, I'm not going to be trading the New Zealand PPI. As I said, it makes sense on paper that that report should be important because New Zealand is a very manufacturing-driven country. The producer price index seems like should be important there, but for some odd reason, I could never see any reliable moves out of that report. So, I'm not going to trade it obviously because of that. And if it moves today all of a sudden, I'm not going to regret not trading it because, as I said, normally it doesn't move. And I don't want to take any unnecessary risk. That's just the nature of that report. As I said, as we put out the new stinger, the new weapon, what it's going to do is basically going to list all the reports, even the unimportant reports. So for the people that want to experiment with stuff, you'll have access to that. So you'll have a lot of different reports, a lot of the ones that don't even trade. So you can, if maybe some of them may move for 10-15 pips and I don't trade them, but because of nobody knows about them, the brokers don't raise their spreads, so you can scalp some brokers for maybe 8, 10, 12 pips profits. That'll all be possible with the new stinger. As I said, we pretty much have it ready, and it's going to be released towards the end of this week to a special test group to make sure it's performing properly. And we're just going to run maybe 5 or 7 or 10 reports with that group, and then we're going to release it to everyone. So we are shooting to release it towards the end of next week to everyone. So yeah, otherwise I'll see for the UK unemployment rate at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow, and I will talk to you later.